Now let's create a small replica set on just this one computer that I'm using so you can see how it works. Now normally when you create a replica set, you're going to put one of the MongoDs on each of the physical servers so that there's some real fault tolerance here. And you might very well run them all into the standard port. But we're going to do it just on a single node. And so to do that, I'm going to have to run them on different ports so that they don't conflict with each other. So I've written a small script here called createReplicaSet.sh, and it's going to be available for download if you want to download it. And it's going to create three directories, /data_rs1, data_rs2, and data_rs3. And they don't exist right now, so it'll actually create them. And then it's going to start three MongoD instances. Now, it has to declare that each one is part of the same replica set, so -repl set rs1. And this is just telling it that it should put its log in a log file called 1.log. And then this is its DB path where it's going to put its data files, so again, data rs1. And then it's going to choose a port where it's going to listen on. This one is going to get the privilege of listening on the standard port. And then it's going to fork, which is going to allow it to return, and that way I don't have to run these each in their own shell. So these are commands that are going to work with the bash shell. On Windows it'll be slightly different, but this will work on most Unix machines. So we're going to run bash and then create replicaset.sh, and then it started them all, and we can see what's in one of the log files. So we'll look at 1.log. So basically it's just warning me that it's not totally configured yet. So at this point I have three servers running, but they're not initialized yet to know about each other. Because if you'll notice in that script, I didn't tell the first one about the second one or the second one about the third one. So there's no way these guys could act in concert right now. They're basically just independent and they're running on a port. And so now we need to tie them together. So to do that, we have to actually give a command inside the Mongo shell. I'll show you what those commands look like. All right, so these are the, let me clear my screen. There we go. Okay, so we have to create a configuration, and then this configuration looks like this document. That is an arbitrary name, config here. I have to name it with _ID equal to the REPL set name that I gave to each of the MongoDs. And then I have a members array, which is going to name three members. And these IDs are arbitrary. They have to be unique. And then these are the hosts that are going to be part of the replication set. The first one is 27017, the second one is 27018, and the third one is 27019. And I also, for this first one, decided to have it be delayed 5 seconds with respect to the other ones. So it's going to get it's not going to get its data for 5 seconds after the other machines, so we could more easily see what's going on with replication. And in order to do that, the replication subsystem requires that you not allow it to become the primary. So I set priority equal to 0. And then I just call rs.initiate. This is a Mongo shell command with that configuration document. And then I just get the status to see what's going on. Now, I'm going to pipe that into one of the Mongo shells. So I'm going to connect to... I can't actually run this initiation command on 27017 because you can't initialize a replica set from a host that cannot become primary, and this one cannot become primary. So I'm going to have to do it connecting to 27018. So another thing to note for all you Unix folks out there, so you'll notice that I didn't call this localhost. I called it andrewsimac.local. I didn't have a lot of luck on my Mac using localhost as the host name. I'm not sure why. This is what the machine thinks it's named, and that seems to resolve with get attr_info, the Unix command that's needed to map names to IPs, so I used that. And I'm going to connect to it, --port 27018, and if I do that, I just get the shell. I'm just in the shell for this MongoD. Now instead, I'm going to read in this initiation script in the replica.js, and that should initialize my replica set. So it says it should come online in about a minute. Let's connect to it now, again, and then run. Oh, look at that. So you see something different happen for the first time. Now when we connected to this server port, instead of just saying normal shell prompt, I get this rs:1 secondary, telling me that I'm in the secondary. rs is going to give me my replica set status. I'm going to do that. And if I do that, what I find out is that I've got 3 nodes in my replica set. 2 of them are in a recovering state, and one of them, the one I'm connected to, is in a primary state. So that's probably going to resolve itself momentarily. So let me just look again. And now it's up. So secondary, primary, secondary. Perfect. Okay, so now that's all good. But now I'm on a secondary here, so I won't be able to do any writes. So I'm going to disconnect from this and go to the primary, which looks like it's at... Oh, I am on primary. Sorry. I was initially on secondary. It changed the prompt, I guess, because now I'm primary. Is that true? Let's see. Let's go back here. Yes, when I first connected, it thought I was a secondary, but as soon as it brought the replica set fully up, it made me the primary. Okay. So, good, I'm the primary. So if I disconnect and connect to one of the other ones, I should see it be a secondary, and it is a secondary. And if I connect to the final one, which is the 27019, I should see that it is a secondary. Okay. And if I try to write to the secondary, I'm going to have no luck. Let's write to the primary. So I'm going to get off there. And then I'm already using test, db.people.insert name Andrew. Let's see if that document gets inserted. I inserted it. And now let's go to one of the secondaries and let's see what is in the collection. Oh, and what does it say? It says I can't query this because I'm a secondary, and you can't query secondaries by default. So how do you do that? Well, there is a command called slaveok. Oh, sorry, rs.slaveok, which is going to allow this connection. Remember, what we have right now is a Mongo shell attached to a MongoD, and you have to set for this connection that you are okay with reading from a secondary. And once I do that, I should be able to do the query. So let's see if I do the find. I see there's my object. So you can see that now my object got replicated to a second server. And if I go to the last server, then I should also get it there. So let's see what rs.status looks like. So my secondaries are at port 27019 and 27017. So I was on 9, so let's go to 7. And let's give it rs/slaveok command. And then let's do db.people.find. And we'll see that that's been replicated. And so that's just the basics to show you how you create a replica set inside Mongo. And I'm going to put these scripts up in the lesson files this week. So I really encourage you to do this yourself so that you can play with it and see how they work. Now let's do a quiz. All right, so here's the quiz. Which command, when issued from the Mongo shell, will allow you to read from a secondary? db is master, db admin command repreference secondary, rs.setStatus primary, or rs.slaveok. Which one will let you read from a secondary?